All right, guys, I had a few of you asking in the comments, hey, are you going to make a response video to like Rin's latest controversial videos, or we want your perspective or opinion on it. And I was actually thinking about doing this because I think it's an interesting conversation. So we'll see how this video goes. If it's not complete shit, I will post it. The reason I say that is because I just threw up like a million different ideas around this whole topic of the video in a notes section, and it's gonna take me like an hour to get through this. So I think I'm just gonna jump around piece by piece, and I'll see what resonates and I'll include it, and if I forget some stuff, I forget some stuff, it doesn't matter. So FYI, this is the video where Rin was basically saying you don't need semen retention. Semen retention doesn't actually have any benefits. It's not actually doing anything for you. It's just a permission slip. It's all more about the law of attraction and your belief that it will work. That video. So number one, guys, this is some high level shit. This is some really high level shit. It makes perfect sense to me because I have just spent the last 7 years obsessing over Dr. Joe Dispenza's work and going to 4 of his live week-long events and like studying and putting that stuff into action into my life, and using Neville Goddard's work and like really diving into the how things actually operate behind the scenes of the physical. So I'm gonna give you my perspective on this. Hopefully I'll be able to break some things down into like bite-sized pieces for you all. But I wanna preface it with this. If y'all are getting triggered from another semen retention, let's say, creator online, like Rin, feeling like he's all gung-ho on semen retention, and then it feels like he's pulling a 180, on this, and I'm going through the comment section, and like everybody is freaking triggered AF, and angry, and disappointed, and just like you could just feel the loss of confidence in that comment section. If that is you, I am just going to lovingly say this. You may want to check in and see if you are putting too much of your faith and conviction in that of guys that you are watching on YouTube making this content. Now, don't get me wrong. Borrowed conviction is what we call it. Borrowed conviction, it can absolutely serve you to a point. Here's a great example. I use borrowed conviction actively when I'm investing in stock market and in cryptocurrency and stuff like this. Projects where I may not have my belief system built up around it. I haven't done due diligence, my time and effort of really locking in and learning the ins and outs of the company and building high conviction. Then first, as I'm getting started, I will borrow someone else's conviction that I know they have an insanely good track record and I believe what they're saying to be true. So I will go make a big bet on that myself. And then once I finally have a big bet in there, then I'm like, well, now I should probably start to learn more about this and figure this out. And I gradually start to build my conviction to the point where my conviction is not directly dependent on the borrowed conviction of the conviction that the other person has on it. Does that make sense? So I would say if you feel like your conviction is wavering now that Rin is saying, well, semen retention, you don't really need it, guys. It's kind of pointless, whatever. You may just want to check in and say, okay, have I been putting too much of my faith on Rin? Because guess what, guys? He's human. I'm human. Bogdan's human. All these other creators are human. We're all human. And guess what? We're probably going to contradict ourselves. I speak way differently about semen retention today than I did when I started making videos on day 26 on this channel. You can go back and watch them all. I am a drastically different version of myself. The way that I speak and my approach to all of this, it's not to say that that wasn't real back then. It's like that version of me, that was super real for that version of me back then. And I was experiencing things and seeing things from a different lens, a different perspective that I am now. Was it wrong? No, but it's changed. So I would just be careful hoping that people aren't going to change, because the only thing that never changes is that everything in life in the universe is always changing. So if you're all in, like your conviction is all in on somebody else doing the thing, and then they switch up and change, because I've seen some of the SR guys in this community do this on my journey, and I've had to unfollow them and like stop letting them speak into my reality, because I'm like, bro, like thank you for getting me here, but you lost your conviction or something happened here. I'm like, I can't let you speak into my journey anymore. So just be really intentional with who you are letting speak into your speak into your journey, and do your due diligence. Build your own conviction. Do your research into semen retention, guys. Create so many situations, or research so many situations and like stories of other men using this, and read books. There's a reason that I'm reading books, guys. I build conviction. I learn the science, the biology of it, put all this stuff together so that even when you face, a situation where somebody is going to say, hey, actually it's not doing anything, are you going to crumble right there? Or are you going to be able to be so confident in what you've learned that you can sit with it and say, okay, but this guy's also been doing this for a while, and I know he knows some shit. So where's the deeper truth here? Because I know he's sharing some game. What is the deeper truth, the deeper meaning of all of this that he's trying to share? Okay? Not preaching at you. I'm just telling you. We're all mirrors to each other. Here's something interesting. So he talks a lot about the law of attraction. I freaking love the law of attraction. I'm obsessed with it. Again, Neville Goddard, Dr. Joe Dispenza, like their work goes deep into this stuff. And basically, it's all around the fact that there are principles and laws of creation that supersede the 3D Newtonian physics of this 3D world, this 3D plane of existence. Okay, I know that's a mouthful, but basically, things happen in the 4D, and then they get mirrored and manifested into the 3D. That is why every invention in this reality, before it existed, before this book existed, it was a thought. It was in the imagination realm, right? In the 4D. And then it got pulled down into the 3D and turned into a book. And at the core, law of attraction is all about vibration. You vibrate, what you vibrate at, you attract. I talk about this a million times on this channel. Very, 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 very frequently. And it's also why I love semen retention, because it is naturally improving my vibrational state, which I will touch on later. Here's the thing, law of attraction, yes, it is always at play. Even if you don't believe it, it is always at play. You are always vibrating at a frequency and attracting stuff to you to reflect that frequency, whether or not you believe that that is what is happening, right? It's kind of a weird thing to try to wrap your mind around, but the people that don't believe in it, oh no, I don't believe in that stuff, you can't create reality. Well, guess what? They create a very random reality for themselves of like stuff happening to them just at random, and it's out of their control. Congrats, you created that. And then it's like, okay, well, I do believe in law of attraction and that I can fine tune my energy. It's like, okay, well then you have more responsibility to create your reality, and you're going to see things show up more into your reality when you can learn to manage your vibrational state. Dr. Joe, gets into this a lot. One takeaway from his is the more energy that you have stored up, the more energy you can move up your spine, the bigger your magnetic and energetic field gets, which is how you attract and create your reality. We can get into like the brain, the heart coherence of all of this. Your heart is a very, very creative center of your body, like the most creative center, way more than your brain. And it casts off a huge field, guys. And the more energy that you can hold on to and move up into your heart center and then combine it with right thought, you can create really, really big energetic fields. So the way that this works together is you become essentially kind of like the law of attraction on steroids. Instead of having a weak or an average signal that you're sending out, you're the freaking bat beam signal, right, that he's shooting out into the clouds and everybody knows, like, oh, something's up. You know, it's like that's the type of energy that you're shooting out, this signal, when you get your energy right. So this is why I am still all in on using semen retention, guys, because Dr. Joe doesn't come out and talk about semen retention because he's not just speaking to men. It's men and women, so he just talks about sexual energy a lot. But he has reminded us time and time again, use your sexual energy, move it up and create with it, because it gives you more energy, more signal, higher vibration to create your life with, to then place your desires, the things that you want to create in reality, on those waves and send those things out. So yeah, this is where why I love to pair semen retention with Dr. Joe's meditation work and internal reprogramming work. It's just more life force to create with. Now, you could say technically that is a permission slip. So this is the other thing that Rin was talking about a lot, guys. Permission slips. What are they? A permission slip is basically just a thing that you decide that if you do this thing, it gives you permission to experience this result. So it is basically just giving you permission to get a result and experience that you otherwise do not think you would be able to give yourself permission to experience. One example of this is, let's say, crystals, right? You can wear a crystal bracelet and you can do all this research and you can believe that, oh, this type of crystal, if I wear this, it's at the frequency of wealth and more wealth in my life. So I'm going to slowly start to attract more wealth. Or this one that I wear is for protection and it vibrates at this protection because I'm more protected and it fuses into my field. And now I have more protection. Now, is that true? Yeah, I mean, I firmly believe that to be true in the 3D plane, right? So there's a 3D truth and there's a 4D truth. This is the difference. This is where Rin pissed a lot of you guys off, because he's speaking about a 4D truth as opposed to a 3D truth, and both are true. I still firmly believe that crystals and all this stuff, they resonate at certain frequencies. They're a part of creation. We can use these things to help us create and like whatever. They're permission slips, right? Because the higher thought is, well, couldn't I train myself to believe myself that I get those results even without them, with the law of attraction, and just really locking in on my programming and my beliefs and my thoughts? Couldn't I just get the results from the crystal bracelet that thing is helping me get? Can I just get that without the thing? Yeah, you absolutely can. It's a permission slip to help you get there. But in the 3D realm, it is actually a real thing. Yeah, there is such thing as the resonance of an object and the way that it's created and what it can help you do. Like, that's a real thing. So bring this into semen retention. So is semen retention a permission slip? Yeah, it is. But so is everything, pretty much. You know, when you really start playing this game, guys, this is where it turns into mindfuck, because you're like, wait, so I could just train myself to believe that every time I fart, I get the same results as semen retention for like 200 days. Yeah, you actually could. Okay. But then I could use that same mindset to say, okay, well, working out is a permission slip. I could just train myself to believe that every day when I get up, it's the equivalent to putting in a 3-hour workout every morning, and I'll just keep getting more ripped and healthier and healthier and healthier and stronger, and like I'll look like freaking God, you know? I could just do that instead of working out. Yeah, working out is a permission slip. Eating healthier food to get healthier. Couldn't I just train myself that whatever I eat or don't eat or whatever, like, doesn't matter? I can just train myself that is so, and then it happens. Yeah, you can do that. So then eating healthy is a permission slip to get healthier in your physical body as opposed to eating trash, because you could program yourself to say, hey, no, every time I go eat fast food, it's equivalent to me eating like 10 bags of spinach or whatever you deem as healthy in your life, and you get healthier because of that. You can do that. This is the reason why, guys, there are men, women, people who have accomplished crazy stuff in this life, some of which they can drink poison and it won't impact their body because they have gotten to the point of self-mastery where they have trained themselves to believe that this thing has zero impact on me negatively. In fact, it's neutral or it's beneficial. Drink. Oh, I'm bit by this snake, not a problem. Super poisonous thing that normally kills everybody. No, not for me. And you'll see their biology reacts to that belief. Speaking of that, there's a book called The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. I made a note of that somewhere in here. Go look into that thing. Phenomenal. This will start to open your mind to, oh, it's more about the belief around the thing. Okay, another example. Sugar pills, right? People in these studies where they're trying to heal from something, and then one of the groups is given a sugar pill and one is actually given the actual drug, and they tell everybody that they got the drug. And you see the majority of the people that got the sugar pill, the placebo thing, still heal themselves because it's the placebo effect. Their mind convinced them it's okay to heal now. It's a permission slip to heal now. Fantastic. Now I can heal, even though it wasn't the thing. There was a story about a guy who did that, and he was in a study. He got the sugar pill. He completely reversed and healed his illness because of the placebo effect. The study was published, and he found out that he was the one. He read it, and he was one of the guys that got the sugar pill, and it sent him back into disease again. He got the same thing back, just as badly again. His mind reversed it on him because he's like, it wasn't real, because all of his faith was in the pill. His belief was all in the pill. That was it. He had no conviction that he was doing it. He had no belief that he was the one doing it. It was all in the pill. And then later on, they actually got him in another study and gave him another one, and he believed that he healed himself again, and he reversed it again. You guys can comment if you know what study I'm referencing here. It's been a minute since I've talked about this, but that ended up happening 2 or 3 times, and then the guy ended up dying from the disease. But he went back and forth based on giving away his energy to the placebo pill and healing himself with it. Because why? Because it was a permission slip for his body to heal. His body had the power and the ability to heal. He just did not have the belief in himself to do it. What else do I have here? So the mind bender here is, guys, realizing, wait, do I not have to take action in the physical? If you're telling me, Jason, that it's all about the belief, do I not have to take action in the physical? There's a couple different ways to look at it. Technically, if you are a master at this level in the 4D plane, no, then yeah, you get to play by a different set of rules that supersedes the 3D Newtonian rules. Isaac Newton, physics, right? Those rules of the 3D plane. Neville Goddard's work, by the way, like that, he would teach people to envision things in their reality and do these exercises and train their subconscious mind and then feel the emotions. Things would just happen in their reality. They wouldn't actually have to do physical work to get it because they trained their subconscious mind so deeply that they already got the thing, they had the thing, that it just comes to them. They attract it. We call that assuming the wish, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So no, if we want to talk super meta, a high level laws of the universe, guys, like, no, you don't actually have to do the thing to get the thing if you're operating in the 4D. But I'm about to make this make a lot of sense for you, because now it is worth talking about collective beliefs, because there is such thing as a collective consciousness. And in this collective consciousness, there are collective belief systems that we just agree are a thing. Okay? We agree the sun is hot. We agree the sky is blue. The rain falls from the sky. Blonde chicks are hot, you know? Thick cheeks are hot, you know? Like, these are deep-seated agreements that the collective consciousness has created. But this is in the 3D, right? You could say, well, I want to go against that. Technically, you can in the 4D, but when they're really set in stone here in the 3D collective consciousness, it might be a little more difficult to make that happen in your reality, which, by the way, that can be perceived as a limiting belief right there. Right? Because you could say, like, going into the sun, going into nature is healthy and healing for the body. Cool. You could also say, well, no, I don't need to do that. I could just sit in a dark room and program myself that every time I do that, it's just as healing as going out in nature. Yeah, you can do that. But the collective consciousness is so built around this, right? The 3D game is so built around that rule that, like, nature is good and healthy for you. Why not just take advantage of that? Why not just go do that, as opposed to putting all this work to try to, like, undo that and, like, try to hack it? You know what I mean? Why not just go take advantage of that? Same with healthy food, same concept. Okay, what do I want to talk about next here? Okay. So, this is what I want to say, guys. So, Jason, if you're telling me that operating in the 4D with right thought and right belief systems supersedes all the 3D stuff that we're doing in reality, but then if we aren't able to hold on to that, and if we fall back into the 3D frequency and vibration, and we can't hold on to those 4D beliefs that supersede 3D, we're at the mercy of the 3D collective consciousness then, right? Yeah. So wouldn't it make sense to just find a way to get the benefits of both? So let me give you an example. When I was originally getting into Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, and I was obsessed with, like, okay, this idea of, like, health and healing the body with the mind and, like, doing all this stuff, and I would lock in on this, and there would be days that I, like, locked in. I kept my consciousness really high, and I wasn't lowering my frequency, and, like, I was getting really awesome benefits from this. And then life would happen, things would come up, and I would react, and I would fall down into the 3D plane and now operate by the lower frequencies in Newtonian physics world. Well, now I was playing by the 3D rules, and I was back to square one because I was still, like, in the same rut in that space and still, like, playing by those same rules. And I very quickly started to realize also that when I would manifest and, like, try to create stuff and focus on stuff, oftentimes a lot of them would appear into my 3D reality as things that I should take action on. It's like a physical 3D solution that I thought about. So it's not like I just thought up here and then everything just disappeared and realigned itself. It was like the solution manifested to be the physical 3D solve for the thing in the 3D that I was dealing with. And this is when I've really changed my tone, my thinking, I guess, and started to say, well, Jason, why not just do it both? Why not just do your best to operate by right thought and right action, or, like, play by the correct rules in 4D and 3D? Being aware, yes, that I can do all this stuff and be working on changing my thoughts and my beliefs and removing limiting beliefs, but also then still abiding by the collective consciousness rules that exist in 3D, so that if and when I fall from the 4D into the 3D frequency, I am still abiding correctly that there aren't the negative consequences, right? So it's like, no, every time I go eat fast food, I get healthier. Okay, that's great. And you're operating at that frequency and you have, like, stayed in that 4D new belief system, awesome. But the second that you fall out of that and you waver from that, well, now you're eating junk food, fast food in the 3D, and the collective consciousness view is that ain't good for you. So now you're going to get that projected into your reality. So then it's like, okay, well, if that's the situation, then how about I just hold the belief that yes, everything is good for me, but I'm still going to only eat really, really healthy food. So that even if anything wavers, I'm still abiding by the collective consciousness belief that, oh, healthy food equals healthy body equals improved health. So I'm still getting healthier. Do you see what I mean? So I would encourage you guys not to look at what he's saying is a this or that situation. I think the takeaway here is it's a this and that situation, both of the things. How does that relate to semen retention? Because this is what he wanted to hit at. And I think he talked about this a lot, is this fear that a lot of us have around releasing, and a lot of you around, oh, there's bad luck that's going to happen to me when I release, and oh, I'm going to get sick, I'm going to lose my energy when I release. So now we have semen retention, which is this awesome thing, guys. And it is giving us this way to level up as men quickly, and I freaking love it. But there are downsides to it, right? With all the positives, go watch all my videos, guys. Like, I'm seeing so many of this incredible stuff in my reality happening the longer that I go on my streak. It's like, yes, I'm getting all these things, but what's the cost, right? Well, the cost is I have fought the urges. I have stayed on semen retention on a streak for over 213 days now. I guess 213 days today, right? I have pulled away from women. I'm not dating. I'm not giving my sexual energy away, right? That's a cost, guys. But I'm getting all these benefits because of it. Okay, well, that's fine. That's fine. I can work with this. But then there's also the negative side of it, this fear side of semen retention. Oh, but when you release, all this bad stuff starts to happen. It sets off a chain reaction, and negative things start to happen in reality. Okay, well, that's kind of a shitty one. So you're telling me, what, am I just destined to have to stay on semen retention forever? Because I know men that release that aren't having bad luck and everything happen to them. So it's like, let's break that down. So this is what Rin was trying to get into, is this pointing out this importance of how do I want to say this? Maybe pointing out the absurdity that, like, the great benefits that semen retention is bringing you, or the great negatives that it can potentially bring you now that you fully believe in it, you've been programmed in it, but now you're not abiding by it. So it's like, isn't there a way that we could find a way to learn about law of attraction and put that 4D universal principles laws, start working at that plane and put that into existence, and also stay on semen retention to get the benefits, and then use this 4D reprogramming and belief system changing everything to get rid of the fear aspect, so that we're removing the negatives of it. So that if and when you finally get to the point where you want to release, that it's not going to destroy your life. Because there are two sides of, like, the semen retention community here, guys. There's, like, the optimistic side, and then there's, like, the fear mongering, like, negative side of things. I don't really screw with the fear mongering, like, side of things. Like, that's not my cup of tea. But this really is the helpful takeaway, guys. It's like, why not just abide by both? Why not work on your limiting beliefs and learn about 4D principles and really start educating yourself on that, and put in the time to educate yourself on the 3D benefits of semen retention and what it does for the body, what it does for the man. Read some books like this, and you start to dive into the science, like, you raise your belief around it. Okay, so I know it has 3D benefits. I also know that the 4D can supersede this. I could say I get all these benefits if I go, like, hit my head into the wall over there once a day. It's like, you could believe yourself into that situation. You could program yourself into that situation. Or you could just also do semen retention and work on reprogramming your mind and getting rid of the negatives and the fear and the stuff like that. Because semen retention, guys, it is a collective consciousness belief. Like, the collective consciousness belief around it is very, very, very strong. when I read chapters out of this book for you guys and talk about the ancient cultures and everything that did this, like, we're talking, guys, long ass belief systems in the collective consciousness. They're deep-seated. They're very, very strong, meaning it can be more difficult to go against those things. So why not just like find a way to abide by that side of things and then find a way to get rid of the negatives to it? Whew, we're cooking, guys. Oh, we're at 30 minutes here. I'm gonna scroll through and see if there's anything that I wanted to talk about. Something that might be worth touching on is the reticular activating system. It's the part of your brain that filters out your reality. So there is about 11 million bits of information that your reticular activating system has access to create your reality, and it only every day uses about 40 to 50 bits to create your reality as you know it. Right? So if you think about that, 11 million, you're only using 40 or 50 bits. It's like, what other realities exist? What other way could my life exist if I found ways to access that other like information? And the thing is that your reticular activating system, it operates off your belief systems, guys. Your limiting beliefs, your non-limiting beliefs, like your belief systems train it to look for what fits your personality, who you believe yourself to be in this reality. And that's what you're going to get. So there's a book. This is a really good book. It's called The Luck Factor. Look it up. It's all about belief systems. And they would put money on the ground and let people walk past it. And the people that would pick it up, they would stop them and like interview them. And then the people that would walk past it, they would also stop them and interview them. And the people that walked past it, they're like, "So hey, did you happen to see any money around anywhere on your journey?" No, I haven't seen any money. Are you sure? No, I haven't. Do you consider yourself a lucky person? No, not really. No. Yeah, I don't really have the greatest luck. Okay, have a good day. The people that stop and pick it up. Hey, congrats, you found some money. Yeah, like $10 bill right there. Cool. Hey, do you consider yourself to be lucky? Yeah, I'm a lucky person. They found a correlation between the people that thought they were lucky were the ones that found the money, and the people that thought they were not lucky were the ones that walked past the money. The same money right in front of them, but one filtered it out of their reality and one filtered it into the reality. Funny thing is, when I was walking through my apartment complex's parking lot just earlier today, I stopped and I looked down and I was like, I found a quarter. And then I like walked further, whatever, and like, I found a dime. And I like walking over, and I'm like, I found another dime. It's like, and I was conscious of this because I was like, when I do this, guys, I always stop to pick up the money. It doesn't matter if it's a lot or a little, because it's just a mind training exercise. Because I stop and say, oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. Thanks God, thanks universe, whatever. Thanks for bringing this into my reality. I must be on an abundant wavelength because I am in the mindset to see the money, as opposed to everybody else who walked past clearly didn't see it. Otherwise, they would have picked it up. Something to think about, guys. So your beliefs are pulling things in or out of your reality, phasing things in or out of your reality to confirm who you are for yourself. And until you address that, you're just getting these old programs filtering everything into reality. Does that kind of make sense? It's relatable enough to what we're talking about, guys, when we're talking about limiting beliefs. Like, these things are, they are real. It is powerful. And it's like, if you can learn to reprogram your mind, transform yourself by the renewing of your mind. It's in the Bible. What does that mean? It's like, because if I renew my mind, I can literally transform myself, because my reticular activating system will start to pick out different bits of information to filter in my reality to create a new version of me, a new reality. Maybe it's easier said than done. This is some high-level stuff, but something to start thinking about. Again, also look into the book, The Biology of Belief. It's basically the environment around your cells, including stress, perception, mindset, emotional state. It affects how genes are expressed as either health or dis-ease, basically proving that the subconscious mind runs most of human behavior and psychology. And it's funny because in this situation, guys, people can program themselves into stress and more dis-ease with stress, or they can program themselves into health just by belief systems. And this is what Rin is getting at, this concept of, oh, well, couldn't I just program myself into health without having to do semen retention and getting all the benefits of semen retention without having to do all the difficult parts of it and like having to hold all this sexual energy and avoid women, not give all that away and like avoid all the negative aspects of releasing. Like, yeah, you could. But it's going to take some work, right? Reworking these belief systems. One thing that's worth mentioning, guys, is like, oh, actually, you know what? I have a paragraph coming up about this. Yeah, I'll jump into it right here. So how do you begin to reprogram yourself to only get the good stuff? Well, one thing is being super, super conscious of the thoughts that you were thinking, the feelings that you were feeling, and the programs that you were running all day long, because a lot of them are old, outdated programs that they're not actually serving you, but they're still there because you haven't realized it and addressed them. So that's one way to do it. How to start to reprogram yourself is first you have to be conscious of the programs that are running that you don't want running anymore, that are self-sabotaging your life, right? By being conscious of your thoughts and feelings all day long and choosing to rise above lower frequency vibrations, creating new narratives around like how you're talking to yourself, speaking to yourself in your head all day long, stuff like that. Another great way is meditation. I love Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditation for this. He's basically slipping you into alpha and theta brainwave states, which is where you become more programmable, more suggestible to belief systems. By the way, all of us as kids, as we're operating in alpha and theta brainwave states consistently. That's why we learn so quickly as kids. We pick up languages so quickly as kids, all this stuff. And listen, that's great, but you also pick up limiting beliefs, right? Some of you were raised in households where money is deemed as evil and not easy to get, and you have to work really hard. And some of you were raised in very religious households where it was like, no, if you do this sin and this sin and this sin, well, you're going to hell, and like a lot of fear and maybe shame and guilt. And like some women are told, hey, pretty girls should just be seen and not heard, right? Don't talk. And like they have this belief now, and like then suddenly, guys, you get into adulthood and you're like, why can I not break through these damn patterns that just keep repeating in my life? Why can't I get through this stuff? Well, it's because you have a deep-seated belief. Your input is giving you the output. You have to address the source, the input, that thing. You have to reprogram that belief. And until you do that, you're going to keep creating the same results, because that is telling your reticular activating system what to filter into your reality. You might get rid of the ex that you didn't want to be with anymore, just to have the next girlfriend that you start dating to be the one that, like, it's the same situation again, just a different body. You know, it's a different person, but it's like it's the same experience again, because it's all mirroring back to you the belief that you currently have, the programs that you have running about yourself. One more way, guys, is literally learning how to run new icons and programs in your mind, and then muscle test what you need. This is like wildly advanced stuff that I have learned in the last couple of years that I'm using a lot. It's actually pretty insane. You can basically get a yes or a no answer from your body's reactions to something as a truth or a lie. And if it's a truth, basically your body gets strong and clenches up. By the way, it's called kinesiology. Chiropractors use this, guys. Like, go to any chiropractor, they'll use this on you. I'm not making this shit up. Even if you think I'm making it up, that's your limiting belief system. You know, that's cool. Okay. But anyways, it's a cool way to check in with your body what programs are running and be like, is this true for me right now? Oh, no? Okay, if you get weaker, then that's a no. Okay, if you get stronger, yes. Hey, am I safe right now? That's a great one to test. Hey, am I safe? Am I abundant? Is it safe for me to be seen and heard? Like there's so many things you can go through and check in. And then once you get your answer, it's like, oh, F, like my body is deeming me as not safe. And that is a belief that is stored in the first energy center. And because that's in the first energy center, that is with survival. And that's where money and abundance comes in. It's like, if I'm not safe, I'm not going to be making money. So I need to address that thing. When I addressed that thing, a year and a half ago, it was pretty wild. The next few months, like my businesses did better than ever. I was like, there's no such thing as a coincidence. So you could check in, hey, if I release my sexual energy, will bad luck happen to me? Will bad things happen to me? If that's a yes for you, if you're feeling that's a yes, you got to reprogram that thing. I'm not going to get into running the icons and like how to do that, guys. This is like a whole nother thing. Eventually, I'm dreaming up this way of building a community where I can teach this stuff and like put it into courses and stuff. But for now, like I got so much other stuff going on that I'm working through that I'm just not quite there yet. But just know that is a like high level thing that you can do. I'm at 40 minutes, yo. I told you this would be a long freaking video. Stick with me to the end. I still got some good stuff here. And I just want to say, guys, the ancient cultures, okay, they all testified to the positives of semen retention. So again, I just want to highlight that's like, yes, 4D will supersede 3D, and semen retention does operate more so in the 3D because you're doing physical actions or abstaining from stuff, whatever. Ironically, it's also building up energy, which is like more of a 4D concept that impacts 3D. So like there's kind of some blending here, but the ancient cultures, guys, like they are always talking about the crazy results that they're getting with semen retention. And like you go into traditional Chinese medicine and like this is a very real thing. You go to these ancient cultures, they're all talking about it. And then you look at like modern men that have conquered their career, their industry using this, like Mike Tyson just happened to be on 5 years of semen retention when nobody could beat him. Michael Jackson clearly on semen retention, and people fainting around him because they're so taken back by his energy, his frequency. Like LeBron James casually hinting at semen retention very subtly, but like you don't get that kind of results without doing this kind of stuff, guys, as a man. You know, you look at the superstars like Cristiano Ronaldo, like these guys are 100% doing it. They're 100% using this stuff. Why not use it if there's so much collective consciousness belief in it already? Why, instead of trying to swim upstream against all of that coming at you, it's going to be difficult. Why not just agree to it and be like, okay, there's benefit in this. And you might as well change your reality, use that permission slip to change your reality for the better. And hey, then maybe somewhere along the line, you can start to say, okay, my life is completely different now. I'm so much more empowered. I'm in a better place. Now it's time for me to start maybe up leveling and seeing what's beyond this. But here's the thing, guys. Rin gave you guys the peek behind the curtain of how things are working. But the thing is that most men are not ready for that. Most of us still need to use permission slips to level up because our belief in ourselves and all this like isn't where it needs to be to pull that off. So why not just use the permission slips for a period of time here, level the F up, right? Make your life better. And then as you start to get more advanced, start to, let your mind go there. Okay, what's the actual thing behind this? What are the beliefs behind this that are maybe giving this thing power and the ability to change my life? And that's why so many men were getting pissed off in the comment section, because most of them in the men, if that was you, most of the men in the comment section aren't ready to try to operate by just the 4D, and they need permission slips, and their belief system is so deeply rooted in permission slips and needing those permission slips that they're going to freak out when you tell them the thing that they've been doing that they built their identity on isn't necessary or isn't even having an impact. It's the belief. It's like, no, they're going to fight you on that because that is the realest thing for them right now. That's what their whole reticular activating system is like built on. That's what their whole personality, their conscious personality, like is built on. And it's not a bad thing, guys. This is not a bad thing. Use it. The collective consciousness is very strong with this. What Rin is saying, see if you can find a way to get the benefits out of it and remove the negatives, the fear, the bad luck if I release, all this stuff, okay? But you'll notice the guys who are really talking about this stuff, me, Rin, I think Bogan gets into this a little bit. I know Thaddeus, I know he gets into that with Regal. You'll notice most of us are still on really long semen retention streaks. Like, you can know this stuff, but I'm not going to stop because it's the same thing that Rin was saying. It's like, I'm not going to stop now. I know for a fact that, like, my belief systems aren't in a place to pull that off well. And I'm still valuing the use of these permission slips. So I'm going to keep using them. I'm going to keep getting great results. I'm going to keep using the permission slip. And then there comes a point where I'm going to decide, okay, is this serving my highest good now? Or is there, do I feel like it's limiting me in some way? And now I need to do some belief work to try to get more of the benefits out of it. But then, like, make sure that the cons, the negatives to not abiding by it aren't the things that I have to deal with now. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Okay, let's finish this thing up. No, I don't think I'm going to get into the law of equal exchange. It is worth noting, though, guys, there's lots of laws in the universe. Look into them. I would encourage you to take some time to look into this stuff if this is resonating with you. Yeah. Final thoughts. Guys, check in with yourself, because whether you like it or not, Rin is just a mirror back to you. If you are getting triggered, you might be placing too much power and belief in him, too much conviction in him instead of on yourself. He's a human, guys. He's going to say things that might appear to contradict himself, especially when you start getting into the differences between 4D and 3D, guys. There are going to be perceived contradictions. Everyone in this community who is making videos about semen retention, if they talk long enough and post enough videos, they're going to start to contradict themselves. I probably will do it as well. So lock in on what you believe and whether or not you like all your beliefs and if they're actually serving you. But I would encourage you to quit giving your power away to other people and do some research and, like, really lock in on what you believe. Because I will agree, fear, guys, I just made a video about it earlier today. Fear is a powerful energy. It is a creative energy. Fear of bad luck, when you really relapse, it's going to create a shit show in your life. It creates the bad luck. Fear is a powerful emotion. Remember, you need brain and heart coherence. You need to be holding an emotion, and you need to be thinking in alignment with that emotion to create. You can use this positively. If you want to think feelings of love and then picture your dream wife or spouse, whatever, and like brain and heart coherence, that feeling that you're holding is going to amplify that intention, right? An intentional thought. And you send that out into your field, right, into the universe, and it can bring that back to you. But you can also do that with fear. You could also say, oh, I'm really afraid of relapsing on semen retention. Like, that's the thought you're holding. You send that thing out. And the next time that you relapse, or when you don't abide by the rules or whatever, you get the bad luck. You get the thing that the fear created. Fear is a powerful thing. So I'd encourage you, I literally just made a video about this, about fear specifically, about trying to get fear out of your bodies. By the way, fear is held and stored in your kidneys. If you look into traditional Chinese medicine, kidney pressure points, you could look into K3, K6, K7, all around your ankles. Those are really good ones to work on your kidneys, help your kidneys get more energy. Take some herbs that support the kidneys, maybe some reishi mushrooms, some other things that you can do to support the kidneys and release this fear that is stored in there. So, and the other thing too is this that I want to say. Your emotions are how you communicate with God, communicate with the universe. It's how you tell the universe, creation, hey, I want more of this thing, based on how you react with your emotions. So if this is actually pretty crazy, if something happens in reality, You, by reacting strongly in a negative way to it, is saying, I want more of this, because it's just the emotion. That is how you communicate. That is how you say, hey, I want more of this thing. The better move is always going to be, if something comes into reality that you don't want, straight face, don't react to it. Detach from it. Cool, I see that. I don't prefer it. I'm going to put my attention on the thing that I do prefer. And then when stuff does start to happen that you like, whether it's big or small, for example, me in the parking lot today, I found a quarter. Is a quarter going to change my life? No, guys. But me celebrating finding the quarter is going to change my life, because I just told God, creation of the universe, hey, I love finding money. Give me more of this. And then I found another dime and I celebrated it. And then I found another dime and I celebrated it. Made 45 cents. That might not seem like much in the 3D, but the fact that I celebrated it every single time it happened is me saying, this is awesome. I would love more of this because I'm on an abundant timeline. This makes perfect sense. I'll take more of this. Thank you. If something like that happens, I make sure to celebrate it. If my company has a great thing happen, or an artist has success, or like marketing comes in, I make sure to celebrate it, because that is how I'm communicating that I want and desire more of that, as opposed to just not reacting to it. But you can do that with fear as well. You can use it positively or negatively. So I would encourage you to consider how you're reacting to things in your reality, because if you keep getting more of that thing and you keep reacting to that thing, and then you keep getting more of that thing, eventually you have to stop and say, well, why is this happening? Is there a pattern here? Like, this is getting extreme. Like, why the frick does this keep happening? Cool. That's a good one. Yeah, it's and the reminder too, guys, is it's not necessarily what you do, it's who you are being when you do stuff in this reality. So if you could go do something and be in a shit mood and then see the results and the ripples that creates in your life, versus going and doing something but being in a great mood, an optimistic mood, and seeing the results and ripples that has in your life, they're going to take you on two different paths, and it was the same task that you did. It was just who you were being when you did the task, right? Go get really mad at customer support and chew them out, or like whatever, and see where that sends you and what mood that sends you and pisses them off. And then they yell at you, and like that turns into a whole thing, or like you just don't react, and it's like, whatever, fine, you know, but, or I'm in a better mood and I'm not going to react to them, or whatever, and see how that changes your day and sends you on a different trajectory. Like, two different things, guys. It's more important about who you are being than what you are doing, which again is a bit of a mind bender when it comes to semen retention and all this stuff that we're doing. It's like, can you also do it being a better version of yourself with like different belief systems and programming and stuff around that? Do I still believe semen retention is super valuable for men and for healing and leveling up in general? Yeah, absolutely. Can and will it still positively transform men's life? Yes, absolutely. Am I going to stop doing semen retention now because Rin told me it doesn't actually do anything for me because of very high levels, laws of principles and of creation and principles of the universe and laws of the universe? Am I going to stop now? No, that's retarded. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That is the dumbest thing you could do, having just listened to what I just explained above, right? You would only be able to do that if you recognize that you no longer need that permission slip and you're able to operate with a belief system in the 4D above the 3D that it's not relevant for you anymore. But you have to be self-aware enough to realize, oh, is this actually something I need to be doing right now? I know which permission slips I'm still needing to choose to use and believe in right now, okay? You should do the same. And again, guys, this is why I say over and over and over, you all need to do lots of research and build up your own beliefs in the practice of semen retention, the science of it, take your own actions, so that your actions and results aren't placed and dependent on the actions or words of someone else through their own journey that may not always look exactly like you or resonate exactly with you, right? If you stand for nothing, you fall for everything, guys. Figure out what you stand for. Lock in on your beliefs. Get your foundation rock solid and own it. Still always question everything, because otherwise you eventually get stuck in ruts, because if you stop questioning everything, well, then you're just locked in that next level of beliefs if you're never questioning them. So you have to continually be questioning your next beliefs. Are these now serving me? Oh, is there another limiting belief that I wasn't thinking of? This is the game. It's a high-level game, but this is the game. So there we go, guys. Hopefully that helps some of you understand this topic of what Rin is trying to get his point across with regarding, again, law of attraction, 4D versus 3D, permission slips. Hopefully this is a more digestible and applicable way for you to use this in your life. Again, I'm not here to defend Rin. Bro clearly doesn't need anybody defending him. Doesn't matter. I'm not here to shoot Rin down either. This is simply me giving you guys my perspective as someone who has geeked out over researching law of attraction and manifestation and like Dr. Joe Dispenza's work for 7-ish years now. And yeah, I've experienced insane stuff with this that absolutely I can confirm this is, from my experience, my perspective, real. Yeah, it's a real thing. So I would say do yourself a favor and look into Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, Neville Goddard's work. Bruce Lipton has some good stuff. Try to combine those models with semen retention. Start reading other books about it and like getting everybody's perspectives on it, and then put all this together into one mental model that you can use and apply to your life. And again, guys, Rin posted a controversial video. Shocker. That's why we all follow him. He's hilarious. Like, it's just like, I don't give an F mentality, you know? It's like you're following him because you love following him. And like, he clearly makes you feel something. That's why you're following him. So just know that if you're following him and he releases something like this, shocker, this is what he does. It's hilarious. Like, if that's not resonating with you, don't follow him, you know? If that's going to cause you to freak out and like whatever, like then don't follow him. But like you're subscribed to his channel. Like, you are just inviting this into your life. So you got to be willing to know how to handle it and also think for yourself. So all that being said, guys, hopefully this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know if I hit every point in here. There was so much shit that I wrote down. This could have been absolute trash. This could have been really helpful for some of you guys. I don't know. But let me know in the comments. You guys are more than welcome to have a discussion about all of this in the comment section below. And I may even chime in if I feel called as well. But have a discussion. Where are you at regarding all of this? Where is your belief in semen retention at? What permission slips are you using in life right now? Are you starting to see how there could be an opportunity on your journey to eventually start to pull back some of your permission slips and start abiding by principles and laws of creation that are higher, that supersede the 3D, permission slips that you are currently using? And remember, start to look around and realize that pretty much everything is a permission slip. Oh, that was what I was going to bring up. I had one more thing. Screw it, it's too late. Too late. I'll make another video on it sometime. Remind me if I forget about it. It's about people practicing piano versus just doing envisioning themselves practicing piano, and they all get the same growth in their muscles from just doing the exercises mentally versus physically. Basically proving that it's more the thought and the emotions of the thing rather than this thing. I guess I kind of just told you about it now, but I can go more in depth another time. But that was the other thing I was going to mention. Hopefully you guys all got some value out of this. Again, I just bounced around for an hour. I was not thinking this would take an hour, to be honest, but here we are. This happens a lot on this channel. Peace, love, abundance, guys. Keep going. As you can see, I'm going to keep doing my semen retention journey. So let me know what you think in the comments. See you later.